for sure it had a big psychological effect on the boxers as well, because it gave them the belief na teka, kaya to, di ba? Kaya tong games na to. But for me kasi the our boxers were elevated by their own performances at the start, because no, for the people who don't know, yung AIBA, the association, the organization that handles boxing, amateur boxing, was not the one that handled the Tokyo Olympics. Yung Japan organizing committee, they had a lot of problems with AIBA, saying may issues about judging, issues about whatnot. Marami silang qualms about AIBA. So what they did was they put up their own commission na sila yung namahala dun sa boxing competitions. So when our boxers started winning, started getting the results that they felt they deserve, dun tumaas yung kumpiyansa nila eh. Hey, this is a level playing field. Hindi tutulad nung Asian Games na imposible talunin yung mga Kazakhstan, yung mga Uzbekistan, di ba? Parang there have been a lot of decisions that did not go the Philippines way throughout the years in boxing. So I think that good start, si Nesty yung nagumpisa, di ba? Nesty fought well, and then Irish fought well, and then Carlo Paalam won. When they started getting those initial victories, tumaas lalo yung kumpiyansa nila, because they felt that with that kind of judging, they had a chance. Diba? Parang hindi yung nakakita ka lang ng Russian or nakakita ka lang ng Uzbek, talo ka na agad. May mga ganong may ganong feeling eh, diba? Parang sometimes you feel that you're fighting the opponent and you're also fighting the judges. But of course, as I said, nakatulong yung ginawa ni Heidi, but the boxers also built their own confidence. So it was a combination of the two.
Yeah, you mentioned nga that galing talaga ng mga boxers natin, that they were able to garner their own medals, and that those were really terrific achievements. Pero for you, since yung 3 medalists, they were very impressive, and I personally I didn't know a lot about them entering the Olympics. Like my knowledge on them was pretty shallow until the Olympics, when people were interviewing them more, like previous interviews were coming out, and they were interviewing like the parents of Carlo Paalam before the gold medal match. And these were some stories that you really didn't know before the Olympics, or people didn't get much attention to. So for you, yung 3 boxers, ano yung mga talagang mapipinpoint mo na magandang nangyari throughout the Olympics? Maybe like you can go one each for the 3 of them. What impressed you the most from the 3 medalists?
For me kasi, I really got to know the 3 of them during the 2018 Asian Games in Jakarta. Doon ko sila nakilala talaga. Got to hang out with them after their matches. Siyempre kasama ni Sir Ed Picson of ABAP. Yung kay Carlo, everyone knew that he was going to be good. Like even when he was 20 years old in 2018. Tama, di ba? 23 now. He was 20 in 2018. Nung natalo siya doon, he lost to a fighter named was from India, Amir from India, who went on to win the gold medal. Sobrang disappointed kami dun sa decision because we all thought that Carlo Paalam defeated him.
Yeah.
So parang just to see the progression of Carlo as an athlete from that loss, how frustrated he was after that loss. You can add Nesty Petecio to that list because she lost in the round of 16. Her first match in 2018, lost her first match, which we all thought she won. So parang may mga ganong stories eh. A lot of decisions that did not go their way. And then finally, they got into their groove. For me, the most impressive performance siguro ni Nesty was against Chinese Taipei, si Lin Yuting, because that athlete was so tall, was so good, and I think she was picked by everyone to win the gold medal in that weight category. Pero inaral nila eh. They were able to study what they needed to do. They hired a tremendous Australian coach, si Coach Don Abnett, that gave them a fresh look at things. So it just worked out. It's unfortunate that in 2 tries we were not able to pick up a gold medal. But with these athletes, as young as they are, especially Carlo, you're just confident that at some point that gold medal will be picked up in boxing by the Philippines. Kasi the program is doing well. It's producing results. It's getting to the grassroots. Kasi Carlo quite literally came from the grassroots program of ABAP. Diba? It was sponsored by PLDT from way back. They found him in Cagayan de Oro. He was a teenager. He was a small young teenager, but already they saw potential in him. So you see that the leaders nung NSA, ng ABAP, they know what kind of talent to look for. Like may mata sila for discovering talent. And now we have a system that can harness that talent and turn it into, Olympic threats, medal threats. So, again, it's unfortunate na hindi pa naka-gold, because of course as a boxing fan you always want, the Philippines to do well in terms of boxing, but keep your hopes up for 2024, because there's a lot more, good stuff to expect from the boxing team.
Yeah. How about your personal opinion though? Like for instance, yung kay Nesty, parang medyo controversial yung decision nung gold medal match, and yung kay Umir, it could have gone either way, and maybe it's because the playing style of the guy he was against, from the Uzbekistan yata. Parang kahit suntukin mo ng suntukin, parang wala nangyayari sa kanya. Ganun siya ka lakas and katindi. And I wanted to ask lang your opinion on that. And also maybe on Carlo Paalam, because others said that he could have won if he didn't get knocked down, because he won like the other rounds. Kung hindi nga lang siya na knockdown ng round 1, baka nga nanalo siya by decision pa rin nung gold medal match. So ano yung personal opinion mo naman on those instances na talagang it could have gone either way?
This might be an unpopular opinion, but being Filipino boxing fans, we are a little bit spoiled in terms of how we view boxing. Dahil lagi tayong Manny Pacquiao. That's our go-to, 'di ba? Parang if it's boxing, it should be Manny Pacquiao. Kung hindi ka exciting, ba't kita papanoorin, 'di ba? That's the only way that we think boxing happens.
Yeah.
So what happened between Nesty and Senna was Senna knew na kung magsusuntukan lang sila na walang depensa sa gitna ng ring, hindi niya tatalunin si Nesty. She had no shot at beating Nesty in an all-out brawl. So what she did was she devised a way to not have to beat her for the minutes of the matchup. Hahatiin ko yung laban. Diba? Parang I will cut the matchup in half. If I can't beat you for the entire 3 rounds, I will beat you at every half of every round and try to convince the judges to score the fight for me. And she did that by hugging. Diba? She smothered Nesty. She made sure that kokonti lang yung exchanges, but that she won many of the exchanges. Was it enough? According to the judges, it was.
Yeah.
But I mean, you cannot fault her for having a game plan that would work well against an aggressive fighter like Nesty Petecio. Diba? Parang if nakisama si Senna dun sa gusto ni Nesty, di matatalo siya. Diba? Parang of course matatalo siya. Of course she will lose because mas magaling magpatama si Nesty. Mas makamay, mas aggressive. She knows how to connect on the inside. So what Senna did was she took out all of the things that favor Nesty. Again, from my end, I still thought that Nesty did enough. I did not see the match live. Okay. It was a rewatch. Hindi ko siya napanood live because I was working. But after watching it, I thought it should have gone to Nesty. But it was a good game plan from the Japanese fighter. Now, for Yumir Marcial and Carlo Paalam, I actually thought that the story was similar. Going into the match kasi against Hizniak, si Yumir had 2 stoppages, right? The first one was via cut. The second one was via knockout. So heading into that match, the judges already had the mentality that he was the puncher. Siya yung knockout artist. Yung kalaban niya would just be aggressive all throughout, diba? Parang just one direction, move forward, throw punches, absorb punches, not be affected, and just keep moving forward. I thought it would be dangerous if Yumir failed to hurt him, because then the aggression of the opponent would shine through. Kasi parang ikaw yung malakas Yumir, 'di ba? Parang the judges mentality. I was thinking about it. If you're the stronger fighter, if you knocked out your first two opponents, and then you did not knock out his niak, or did not hurt him, or did not, open a cut or knock him down or give him a standing 8 count, maybe you're not effective.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe what his niak is doing is more effective. I think
Okay.
that was the question for that fight. It was very tight, diba? Parang in the first 2 rounds, 3-2, 3-2 pareho yung judging, and then all of a sudden in the third round, si Yumir was beaten 5-0, and I think si Manny Pacquiao also talked about this. Now, if Yumir was smarter in the third round, he would have won that matchup. If hindi na siya nakipagsuntukan talaga, if he tried to step away, tried to avoid trouble. But it was something that he was not able to do. So, natalo siya, had to just settle for the bronze medal. And then the same thing happened. The same thing happened for Carlo Paalam. If there were no knockdowns, the power punching Yafai would not have won. Kasi they would think that the better tactician, si Carlo Paalam, would be effective kung hindi siya masasaktan. Unfortunately for Carlo, he was knocked down in the first round. Diba? It was a really good combination, 4-punch combination with a nice straight down the middle. Nasaktan talaga siya. Diba? It was a legitimate knockdown, and I think that allowed the judges to favor Yafai in the second round. Kasi nasaktan mo siya eh. So if Carlo now could not hurt you, then hindi namin bibigay yung round sa kanya, 'di ba? Parang you were able to take the attention of the judges in the first round. And then it was very hard for Carlo Paalam to bounce back in the second, kasi first nasaktan siya. So it would take you a bit of time to recover from being knocked down. Second, you had to throw away a lot of what you prepared for, because now you're looking to hurt your opponent as compared to just outboxing him. Kasi naisahan ka eh, 'di ba? Parang and now you had to take the attention of the judges back. You had to, be a little more aggressive. And then in the third round, nagpahinga na lang si Yafai eh. Did not even have to do anything. He knew that he had that match in the bag. And then Carlo was looking for a knockout, because that was his only opportunity to win the match after losing the first 2 rounds. Things like that, sobrang liit man, that would really cost you the gold medal. It's similar to what happened to Yumir in the World Championships in, I'd say, 2019 or 2018 World Championships. He was steamrolling through his opponents, beating them 5-0 or stopping them. And then in the gold medal match, he got a little too aggressive. And then nawalan siya ng balanse. Sakto tinamaan siya ng suntok. He went down. And then that determined the entire fight. Parang it was a flash knockdown, but that determined the entire fight. Ganyan talaga in amateur, because it's just 3 rounds, parang there's so much pressure on you not to be knocked down in all of those 3 rounds. So it was still, it was by far the best performance of any boxing team diba, from the Philippines in history. So wala mang gold, it's still something to be celebrated, because 2 silver medals and a bronze medal. I mean, even without Heidelin's gold, that would have been the best performance of the Olympics ever. Diba? Coming from boxing alone. And then you add to that yung gold medal ni Heidelin, it just takes it over the top.